and welcome to a totally off-the-cuff, not even numbered little video of mine. This is really just to prove that, for one, I'm not dead, because I guess I just haven't been active enough online lately, and also because I'm trying to foresee this, but I have a feeling the Ben's junk that would have come out this past Thursday as of this getting posted just wasn't going to do very well. So anyway, I figured I'd show one of the things that I've been trying to work on for the last few weeks. But yeah, I've been working on two projects simultaneously. Well, not even simultaneously. Like I have to wait for parts for one thing, so I start on another, and I keep bouncing back and forth. But yeah, the primary project has been the first new Record Ripoffs episode in 2 years. And as it turned out, God's Little Joke, most of this year's candidates were on 8-track. And the 8-track has just been a big drama of my primary unit failing, my secondary unit needing a belt and a bit of a tune-up, and trying to get a new belt, being sent the wrong belt, and on and on and on. And as I'm waiting for things to happen on that front, I've been trying to work on this bad boy. This is the Elmo 912S. This is a Super 8mm sound, ostensibly editing unit, but you can use it just as easily to just throw on a film quickly and screen it, and that's why I wanted this, ideally Super 8 sound. Because I'd like to fold some film stuff back into archive here. I was doing it for a little while, then I kind of had to back off on it, but yeah, I was going to try and streamline the process of screening a bit, so instead of having to dig out the projector and the screen and all that, when I get a new film, I could just grab this off the shelf, pop on the film, check it out real quick, and kind of give it the yay or nay. Is this worth pursuing or not? So anyway, yeah, I've had this thing for a year or so now, and at the time it was one of those Fleabay for parts deals. But at the same time, I knew these things are, these are pure analog. There are no chips or anything in here. There's nothing digital about these. It is just, belts and gears. It is as basic as you can get, really. So in theory, I should be able to fix it up. And if something's broken in it, I should be able to find another part or BS something together. But yeah, this has become another just maddening project of mine. So yeah, in the downtime from waiting for parts for my backup 8-track deck to arrive so I can continue, really resume working on Record Ripoffs, it's been me dealing with this thing. And I'm somewhat pleased with myself in that I've got this thing almost restored. There's only one part left that I've just not been able to get myself over the finish line on. But yeah, this thing, it took some abuse in its day. At the very least, this fell off of a table onto somebody's hardwood floor or concrete floor or linoleum floor at some point. Hell, maybe this thing took a tumble down a flight of stairs at some point. And even though the seller did a perfectly decent job of packaging this thing, the post office didn't treat it very well, so it arrived with a broken off leg, and I might as well show that, I guess. So if I zoom the camera in, if you look, I'm going to have to pick this up. Right there, yeah, it's covered in electrical tape, but that was just a compromise that had to be made. So these other legs, they were just one piece, really, in the factory. They're not screwed on or anything. But yeah, this had gotten broken off in transit, and I tried to, do a traditional super glue and baking soda reinforced sort of fix. That didn't work. So I ultimately just put a bolt through here and then a nut on the inside of the machine and held it together. Unfortunately, the bolt sits a little too far out, and compromise had to be made to just cover it in electrical tape so it wouldn't scratch the crap out of my table whenever I set it down and move it. But anyway, let me try and put this back here. Among other things, when I've had this opened, I have found kind of broken parts. When my father passed away last year, I inherited his Dremel, so I gave it its own kind of rechristening by, I don't know if this is going to show on camera too good, But okay, well, I need a new rod of some sort. So I went to the hardware store, bought an eighth inch rod, foot long, cut it down into sections, and was using that to put some of the rod parts of this back together. And just on and on and on. I've got a, sure enough, the belts were no good. I've got an old belt lurking in here, and the old bulb and some extra screws and spacers and stuff. Because part of this has been me continually going to the hardware store and hitting the little hardware section and continually filling up these little bags and spending, large amounts of money on very small amounts of screws and stuff. But anyway, yeah, got a new motor drive belt in there. There's another belt in here. This is where the take-up reel would go. There is another belt built in to the arm here. And it turned out the belt was okay. It just came off at some point. But unfortunately, somebody had dinked with this before me, because the spindle that holds on that got broken at some point. Presumably the belt had come off at another time and somebody was trying to fix it, and, shenanigans ensued. But I don't think the camera is going to pick it up too good, but it is indeed chewed off pretty badly. I'll try and rotate it a bit. So anyway, I'll try and stick this back on here. But yeah, the reason you'd ever want to take this off is so you can take the handle off and take care of the belt. Indeed, the belt is actually running in this handle here. So that's another thing I've been trying to figure out. How do I reaffix this decently enough to be properly functional, but still be removable if I need to do any work on the inside of this thing? But yeah, it's just been me going through and fixing another part and another part and another part and getting it back up to speed. But I've gotten down to that one final part that I cannot do anything about. So anyway, I'll go ahead and pop the front off this sucker if it'll let me. There we go. So anyway, if I were to remove these two primary knobs here, the frame adjust and the focus knobs, we have got underneath this plastic here, I'll zoom a little farther in, underneath this plastic, there used to be a knob right here at the tip of my pinky. And that, as it turns out, holds some of the gears together and holds the prism on that the film reflects off of going through the lenses, and there's a few mirrors in the guts of this thing. But the problem is, here's where I've been having my final problem. In the factory, the way they must have done this is they built the guts first and then they slapped on the plastic with the intent of never really being removed and never being serviceable again. And I should note, I cannot find a service manual for this thing. I'm not sure one ever existed for this. But anyway, yes, on this thing's big tumble at some point, or maybe post office abuse, I'll zoom back in here. All that stuff here that this little, which is now just a little post, is attached to, got bent. So if it's working properly, it spins freely as the film is going through, but it keeps rubbing against the side. So at the very least, I would have to try and like slightly maybe drill open the hole a little bigger. But the only way to get this properly working again is to get this plastic off somehow and bend it back to where it should be. And when this thing took its tumble, there used to be a spacer or something in there. That's gone. Maybe it was just a plastic thing. But yeah, this knob just kind of shifts back and forth. But yeah, it needs to be sitting at just the right position. But unfortunately, with it bent, when I do run a film through here and it's not being too finicky and it's not running off the sprocket hole teeth in the machine, when it comes off the sprocket holes, the picture just starts, swirling around on the screen. It's just that, very fast, kind of gag shot sort of thing. But when it is properly working, it's like the picture, it's like a basketball. Somebody dribbling a basketball in slow motion, it kind of bounces, it bobs. That's probably a better way to put it. So when it does that little bob thing, it comes right in perfect sync with this knob rubbing against the plastic. This plastic, again, was never meant to be removed. I cannot find any evidence of any way to remove it. It seems to have been designed to where it would no longer be serviceable. I have tried to get in and dismantle this thing internally. Unless I could find a way to use a 2-inch tops screwdriver with a whole ton of torque, I would never get this thing apart. It looks like there's a couple of rivets in there. So yes, this leaves me with only one option, and I may or may not ever do it because it would be kind of pricey. If I were to take the knobs off here, I theoretically, fill me in the comments, please. Theoretically, I should be able to cut off the plastic. So just 2 little slices there. Now I could use that Dremel, but that would be really big and fat and ugly. You know, a Dremel wheel is fairly thick compared to something like this. So I was looking at one of those ultrasonic cutters that people use when they make 3D models of things. They do 3D printer type stuff. I just don't know if I want to spend $120 on it. And yes, it would mean defacing this thing, but this was already ostensibly a parts unit. This thing will never be truly pure restored. Anything else for a real proper one, I just have to go for another unit and pay truly big bucks for it. But yes, I've been kind of kicking back and forth on, do I want to invest in one of those things, hopefully be able to cut 2 little slices in the plastic here, pull the plastic off, fit a new spacer or whatever it might need down in there, bend this whole unit back to center position. I can't do it with only, I don't know, at best a 1/4 of an inch sticking out there. And, maybe I can get it to stop being a problem. And if I need to, I could theoretically, I could use a drill and just use a drill to open this center a little further if I need to. Hopefully that would get me over the finish line in restoring this sucker. But yeah, I've been going back and forth on it. This video's gone on far longer than I intended it to. I apologize for that. But yeah, this is kind of why I've been MIA between fighting with trying to get my secondary 8-track deck working well enough to make record ripoffs and trying to just simply restore this thing during downtime. I guess I've just been kind of vanishing lately. So yes, this is what I've been up to. I will do a full proper video on this should I ever get this really properly fixed up and fully working again. But otherwise, I guess I'll take a cut here. I'll just go ahead and throw a movie on here. I may have to dink with the frame rate either on my camera or on this unit just so it doesn't flicker too badly. But yeah, just to show that it is at least kind of half alive at this point. But yes, this is one of the 2 things that's been truly eating at me lately. Again, I will do a real proper video on this should I get this fully restored. Again, drop any ideas you have in the comments. I'm willing to listen. I'm sure there's going to be that smart ass that says just throw it away. I kind of expect that at this point. But yes, yeah, I'll give you that quick little demo. I won't even talk over it, and that'll be it for today.
Então, como é que foi? Fiz o maior negócio da minha vida. Se você e Vince não toparem a condição, estão completamente virados. Fale com o Vince. Eu tô fora dessas tranças. Ei. Que isso, tá brincando, né? Afinal, uma da minha mãe, cara. precisava, Frank.
Não ponha toda a culpa em Frank, Tony.
A culpa é sua, então. Os caras estão morrendo na rua e você sentado aqui seguro feito uma cobra.
Ah, sem essas coisas acontecem. Às vezes a gente não tem sorte.
Sorte? Vocês caíram numa armadilha que uma criança qualquer veria a quadra.